Its crystal bottle is stringently verified.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Morning at NTV. My name is Idris Matusegawa. Now, this week, Uganda signed her name in the Guinness World Book of Records for the biggest, hugest Rolex in the world. Whilst officials in the tourism sector have, however, set up a campaign dubbed Explore Uganda. We have the Minister for Tourism, Martin Mugara, to interrogate more about this and more. Minister, good morning.
Thank you for having me, Idris, and morning to the viewers out there.
Well, we recently launched a brand new campaign dubbed Explore Uganda. What is this about?
For quite some time now, Uganda has not had a brand that identifies Uganda uniquely from the other tourist destinations, especially when we share almost the same with the neighboring countries, especially in terms of safari. So for a period of 2 years, UTB and the ministry have been working on this brand, and I want to thank all those that have been part of the process, those that have supported, and even those that were part of the process at the launch, especially His Excellency the President, who participated, braced the brand launch, but is also willing to support, because you see the argument is not only about launching the brand, it's what we do after launching.
After the launch.
How much we market, how much we aggressively put it out there, both nationally and internationally. And the unique bit about the brand is that it speaks differently for the different markets. For the Ugandan, it speaks to us uniquely ours as the Ugandan. We shall be launching something for the international market as well. And we are saying that both markets are important. And I want to thank the Ugandans that have now picked a culture of travel. We saw that in December. If I told you the numbers, you'd be surprised.
What are the numbers, Minister?
Oh, no, they are huge. Because in just the quarter of October, November, December, I think we had around 80,000 visitors to the parks.
Oh, wow.
December alone had around 40,000. But still, of the 80,000, let's say the East Africans, of which 90% are mainly Ugandans, contributed over 70% of the number. So it's a new culture, it's trending, and I want to thank all those that are promoting. Like I say, the job of promoting destination Uganda shouldn't, for me, Martin alone, shouldn't for you, Idris alone, should be for every Ugandan, because this is our country. You can't sell what you don't love. First love it, then we sell it out there for the traveler to come and enjoy as well.
You mentioned earlier that Explore Uganda is targeted to the Ugandan national audience, not the international, and you're yet to launch something for the international market.
Well, no, Explore Uganda targets the Ugandan and the international. But the slogans that we are using are different, because you see, for the Ugandan we are saying what is uniquely ours for we the Ugandan as well. We have something different for the European market, but still the whole thing is Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. So it doesn't really change. What changes is the slogan. And some people have been saying, why didn't you, why Explore Uganda? But you see, Explore is much bigger. It's not, Uganda is not only about nature. You see, you're talking about food, the Rolex. So let someone come and explore everything, be it the food, be it the culture, the nature, the culture. You know, Uganda has the most friendly people in the world. Every traveler will tell you that without any hesitation. So there's a lot to offer. And we also tell the Ugandan that, come on, when you're traveling, don't just drive only to the protected area. This is what I think about travel, and for me this is what I've done, I think, for the last so many years. If I'm going to go, let's say, to Iganga or to Makshon Falls, I will drive and enjoy every bit, right from the beginning, chill with the community, understand the culture, park at any kind of joint, maybe sit and eat the local food. So you get the full experience of the country. So that's why I think the word explore is much better, because it entails everything that Uganda has to offer.
So, Minister, what informed the need to have this campaign, and what do you think the campaign is going to achieve in terms of tourism and boosting it?
Well, I don't think there would be any other better time to launch this campaign than now, especially now that we've come out of COVID. You know, it's been a lot of restriction in terms of travel. internationally, even domestically. And, you know, people now have a hunger to travel because they've been almost locked in for quite some good time. So we believe this is the time to tell them, if you want to travel, especially after the bad COVID experience, the first destination should be Uganda, you know, vis-a-vis the other areas. So I think this is the right time to position ourselves in the market so that we can, because I believe so many people are going to travel this year alone and probably the subsequent years. But like I've said before, we didn't have a brand really that identifies Uganda. You see, if you went on Google, let's say, and put in Kenya, it will bring Magical Kenya. It will say visit Rwanda. It will say something about Tanzania. Then Uganda, we didn't have anything particular to us. So that's why we thought that it's better we have one brand name that we all identify with, and that is Explore Uganda. Of course, the Pearl of Africa. What
are some of the things that we are going to see? Because you've mentioned countries like Kenya, Rwanda. Rwanda especially, they have gone further to have maybe T-shirts on soccer jerseys. I mean, like a brand, visit Rwanda, then adverts on international networks. What are we going to see from Explore Uganda, the Pearl of Africa?
Well, I think this is the beginning, and the campaign is already out there. The number of media houses already, you know, advertising for the country. But I think, and first of all, you see in comparison, well, we shall do whatever it is. We shall market it, and we shall do. We don't necessarily have to do what the neighbor has done. There are so many ways. We have a lot of innovations that we can get the message out there. If you compared Kenya, I've told the Kenyans that come on, because for them they have only the big five. For us, we have the addition of the gorilla. and if you see what our neighbor sells, let's say Rwanda, you know, we have over 52% of the entire world gorilla population in Uganda. So we have a lot more.
But they seem to have more when they are marketing themselves. They seem to have more than us.
No, we have more. The truth of the matter is we have more. We have more. And that's why I'm saying now that we have a brand that identifies us, then now we are rolling out the brand and we are going to market this country. But we've been getting a number of visitors, interestingly, over almost 1.45 million visitors, making around $1.6 billion.
Oh, wow.
So despite not having a good brand, not putting ourselves out there aggressively, we've been having the numbers. So you can imagine now if we get out there and market, and I want to thank His Excellency the President, the government, the entire cabinet, and every other Ugandan, because now they are being supportive. If you go and see how many people post about this beautiful country every day on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, I think it's amazing. So I believe together we can do this, but I encourage the Ugandan, please travel, love this country, and there's no other better place.
Brilliant. Minister, I would not walk away from this interview without mentioning something that happened in the Dubai 2020 Expo. What happened with that? Like, for example, so many Ugandans were furious, were disappointed with how we represented our country.
Well, first of all, you see, the Dubai Expo is actually still going on, by the way, until March. It has never closed. And Uganda is still out there, is still marketing. And they are marketing so many things. Not only the tourism sector, trade, oil, all these partnerships, minerals, services, whatever it is. It's everything. And that's why you see the people that headed the campaign were mainly Minister of Trade and I think the Uganda Export Board and the rest. But still we performed well. I don't know why Ugandans picked out. And interestingly, if you have seen, I saw the Dubai media that actually ranked us, the magazine ranked us as the third best pavilion in the Dubai Expo. You understand? Yes. So I know Ugandans like picking onto something very small and they hold on to that
it
and magnify it. But I think we performed well. And like I've said, there have been a number of meetings. I remember the first 2 weeks of the Expo, actually, just the Expo. We had brought in investment of almost $1 billion. So you cannot, that's why we were there. We're not there just to do anything else. It was what happens at the pavilion and what happens outside the pavilion, the deals that are brokered by all the representatives of government there. So it wasn't just one thing of displaying. So I think Ugandans got it wrongly, but I can assure you there is business. Our teams are still there. There are still engagements going on, and we expect a lot of investment coming in. So we shall give you one conclusive picture of what we achieved out of the Dubai Expo in March when it's closed. And I think Ugandans will be surprised.
Well, do you think, Minister, that Ugandans were misinformed because they did not get enough information on what was happening at the Expo? For example, when we were at the launch on Friday last week, there was a very beautiful video that was being played, and usually tourism is pushed visually. So are you planning to do more, maybe TV programs, more adverts, more advertising in form of maybe photographs, etc., to push the information further to the Ugandan that, hey, we have this in Uganda?
Oh yes, and we have what you saw on Friday was just a small short video, but there's a big time manual about so many things that come with this very brand, even business and the rest, that are going to identify this country. So a lot is going to be happening. We shall even have a launch actually internationally, so that because we have market representatives across the globe. So they will also be marketing. We've come up with a budget for our embassies abroad. They're also going to help us with marketing. So I believe give us some time. In a period of maybe a few months, you'll see this thing all over. But still, like I'm saying, it's one thing to advertise and another for you to travel.
All right.
For me, as much as we are targeting the European market, I keep saying that we have to change our numbers. Because you see, the Kenyans, for instance, I refer to them because we're almost the same, or the Tanzanians. You see, almost 70% of the travelers in Tanzania, in Kenya, are Kenyans. In Uganda, it is the opposite, only maybe around 10%, or even less, because you see, we compare with the zoo, because the zoo is mainly students. If you remove the students and look at the adult people that take their families, previously there were very few. So now we need to change this number a bit, so that we stay a better resilient sector, you know, because let's say Kenya was not affected by COVID, the tourism sector, like we were. Because for us, the moment the Europeans and the Asians and the rest could not move, I mean, we're in trouble. How would you come from over $1.5 billion to just, I mean, $400 million? If you look at the jobs we lost, almost hotels were sold because there was no business. In other places like Kenya, business, actually, people even performed better. The Kenyan traveled more because he wasn't traveling outside. So at least I spoke to a few hotel owners and a number of my colleagues. And the Kenyans were saying, come on, even if there is no reopening, we are good to go. So we need to change that as well, so that whoever invests in this sector, because it provides employment for our people, it brings in good revenue, it helps the local communities out there. If you look at what we give out in terms of revenue sharing to the communities that neighbor these parks, out of park entry fees. So it is, and that's why we're telling government, and I thank government for supporting, that this is one of the most important sectors now that we are going into the recovery process. I think let's focus on it, and to help this country recover even faster.
You've mentioned that our tourism sector is usually basically targeting foreigners, and the nationals are not utilizing our beautiful, beautiful country. Have you done some research or made some observations on why that is so?
Yeah, like I said, previously there was not much focus, really. There was not much focus, but now we're all focused. Okay. Not only us as government, even the private sector. As I'm speaking now, I think there's a big boys caravan, 12-day caravan going on across the country.
Are you among the big boys?
Well, we support each other because the sector relies so much on the private sector. Yeah. So we've seen so many of the tour operators focusing on the domestic sector currently. Recently, we were launching a partnership between Bar Aviation and Uganda Airlines, and these are guys that have come up to offer now another form of transport, not only road transport, so they can fly people anywhere. Using choppers, using all this. So we are giving Ugandans options. And actually, when I was asking for the figures, you'd be surprised. So many Ugandans fly across the country just because they don't want to sit on the road for 2-3 hours. So now we are creating a number of options, even water transport. If you go to the islands now, I mean, so many people have boats. It's easy to move than this slow government boat that takes ages. So come on, we are trying to open up the sector, giving very good incentives to investors that are coming in, encouraging people to come and invest in hospitality. I mean, let's say, for instance, we've been saying that accommodation has been a problem because within the protected areas there hasn't been much accommodation. Now the advertising space, we are going to have a number of people construct more accommodation in those protected areas, but also still re-advertise for them to have more people come and participate. So there's a lot going on, and we believe that within a short period of time, really, I think this sector is going to grow, employ more Ugandans. The issue of human resource with our school in Jinja, UHTTI, government has now invested a lot of money because you see one of the biggest challenges has been human resource. Human resource is very important in the hospitality sector because I've been to places in Uganda, I mean, even no one would know I'm a minister probably, and would tell the guys, I mean, I wouldn't recommend someone to come here. Someone has put up a very good structure, but the service is as annoying as I don't know what. I can't explain.
It's poor.
So service is very important. And that's why you see we're trying to train the best human resource so that if someone traveled from abroad and came here, he would get the best service. But also to act as a deterrent for Ugandan who wants to go to Dubai. I mean, if I can get the service that I'm getting in Dubai here in Uganda, then why travel? So we are trying to do whatever it takes to keep the Ugandan here, but also to encourage whoever comes here to always keep coming by working on the human resource. And so many other factors, really. Entry fees, for instance, to the parks for the Ugandan. It's now 20,000 shillings. It's not a lot of money. And now there are promotional offers, for instance, where UWA is offering, Uganda Wildlife Authority is offering an entry permit of, I think it's 100,000 shillings, and you can enter the park throughout the year, even if you entered 1,000 times.
Oh, wow.
Just that's at 100K. So that's what I'm saying. We are doing, but let Ugandans speak interest and let the Ugandans travel and tweet about this country. I can assure you, at least I saw a testimony in December where people went and tweeted, come on, people are traveling.
Perfect. Now, Minister, some of the parks that you've mentioned being encroached on, and you find trees being cut down, spaces being cleared for the facilities that you talked about. Isn't this going to be a problem in the future where we are going to find ourselves having less and less space for the animals that actually bring the tourists?
Well, first of all, you know, there are parks that we manage as a ministry through UWA, and there are those that we co-manage with the National Forest Authority and the rest. Well, of course, there are challenges across, but I can assure you there is commitment from government to make sure that, you know, this is checked. For instance, let's say, if you look at the 2019 Wildlife Act, the one that was made recently, there is no room for degazation. It does not allow anyone to cut off a protected area now. So degazation is out of the picture. You can discuss something else, maybe compensation. Because actually the president is saying if there are people that are in the park, would rather pay them off and get them out and settle them elsewhere than degazetting any part of these protected areas. So you can see that there is some commitment from government. Like I say, the challenges are there. I mean, the government is trying its best. I've seen in some areas, you know, I've seen petitions from people, but we are working as a across board, not only government, but also parliament has come up. So you find some colleagues saying, no, I want to degazette more, I want part of this. But I mean, I think with climate change and the rest, but also the money we are making out of these resources, out of when I go for these human wildlife conflict resolution meetings, I usually tell people, because most of the communities will say, you see, the land is not enough for us, we want to get back into the park, please add us more. But you see, land will never be enough. But we always tell them that, you know, people who are Christians, I mean, even Muslims, I mean, everyone, that even when God was doing creation, if you look at Genesis and the rest, there was a provision for these animals. So I don't know why Ugandans or people would think that it would be good after the world has come to an end for God to come back and only find human beings. I think it would be very unfair. So it's our responsibility, really, to also protect nature, because there's a benefit from it, the entire, as an entire ecosystem.
Minister, unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you so much for coming through and talking about this issue. And I hope to have you one more time so that there's so much to discuss about the tourism sector. But thank you, and congratulations on the campaign. It was beautiful. I saw the T-shirts. They were lovely. Well, stick around on Morning at NTV. We have more. I think, producer, do we have Stephen Bide ready? All right, let's take a short break. We shall come with Stephen Bide, who will give us an update on what's happening outside.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Get the digital assist with Absys Digital Channel.